Trying to heat things up here a little bit. Don't recommend doing this at home. I keep touching this can. It's not hot yet. It's still cold. We have 2 coats of primer on those screws, 2 coats of base coat, and 1 coat of mid coat, which is all we really need, which is the pearl. It doesn't really matter a whole lot on those screws. This is my clear coat. Heating the can up a little bit because it's so cold in the garage. It was really cold. Trying to get it up to, we'll call it operating temperature. Recommended temperature ranges. Let those screws bake for just a little bit. About 5 minutes is all I'm doing. And I'm going to take those, set it right back up here onto this little thing here. We're going to do 1 medium heavy coat of clear and let it dry for the night. Tomorrow I can put it together. This is the next day. I have come out here and I put all my my parking sensor plugs, the actual sensors in the bezels, on the back of the truck, and all of the bezels let go. So I've put them in, taped them down where I wanted them at, and I have put JB Weld around the inside of the backs now at this point in effort to keep them inside the bumper. The front did not come loose, just the back. Now here is this Speedway Motors tag bracket. Unfortunately, Move, when they made these bumpers, they didn't accommodate clearances here for any kind of tag bracket. So there's, you know, you got holes to put your tag in, but you don't get, there's no room for this bracket. I actually had to notch the bottom of this bracket just to get it to go all the way in. But still, to get it right, I would need to actually notch the bottom of the bracket. I mean, really, I would need to notch the whole bottom of the bracket about 1/8 of an inch to drop the bracket down to make it work. That's not Speedway Motors' fault. It's a great design, great bracket. It looks fantastic. The issue is Move bumpers. They did not build this high enough or take into account anybody who uses a tag bracket. Now, if you just bolt a tag straight to the bumper, then fine, it'll work. But if you want a tag bracket, it will not work without notching your bracket or making something custom to accommodate this. So, something to think about. Anyway, I have the Speedway Motors installed here. Drilled a hole in the back, put my my wire straight through the bumper there, and I'm going to go ahead and get this wired up and tie it in my existing tag light and give it a shot. All right, so we got the Speedway Motors tag bracket installed. I've got the parking lights turned on. You can see the light is illuminated on the tag. It is daytime, so obviously it's a little bit bright outside. I'll get a good look at it in the dark. So this is the pigtail for my pod light. This light right here. I am not going to put these lights on the reverse light switch of the truck. I don't want to be blinding folks in parking lots at the grocery store and all that mess if it's dark. And it's only for whenever I need lighting behind the truck in a dark area. I don't see it being a big deal in a well illuminated parking lot. So I'm going to put it on the switch. I have this tag bracket here utilizes the chassis, or the actual frame is the ground, and when you bolt it in up here, it bolts into the steel bumper, which grounds it to the truck. It only has a single positive wire, so I cut the plug off for a tag light and took the hot wire and ran it to the new tag light. So the 12 volt, I tested it, got a digital multimeter there, tested it, wired it up, it works. I still had an available ground wire, so for that tag light. So I'm using the ground wire for these 2 pod lights on the back of the bumper. So as you can see, there's my ground wire for this pod, and there's my ground wire for that pod over there. And I've got it tied straight into the factory tag light ground wire, which is sufficient. The positive wire, which is going to be, you know, this one here, that red one there, I'm going to run it up and attach it to switch number 7. As you see, labeled here in the box all around, switch number 7 is right here. And I double checked, even though it is labeled positive and negative right there on that 15 amp, this one here. Even though it's labeled positive and negative, I don't necessarily need to use the negative from this. I can actually just run a positive wire straight to the back of the truck, tie that positive wire into the lights, and use the ground at the back of the truck. I don't have to actually run a ground wire with it. So we're not going to do that. Anyway, I've already taken it, connected the wire. This big long green wire you see laying on the ground here. I've already ran it outside the truck, connected it, tested the switch, the lights work, everything is good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get this wire tucked up under the truck and route it all the way to the back, and I'll be done with everything wiring on the back of the truck. I will have nothing else to wire. And I got them wired up. They are bright. Rear pod lights look really good. Out here in the driveway walking around. It's been a long day working on this truck. Check this out. Got the fog lights in the pods and the light bar. Isn't that cool? Got the blue RGB backlighting going on. That's gonna look good when it gets dark. I'm gonna have to run down to the supply house and get a another cable. I need an extension. These cables here aren't long enough. The one on the passenger side won't quite make it all the way over to where the control box is gonna be at. So yeah, here we are. Looking good. Got lights in. This thing is looking sick. After a long day of fighting with some wires, I finally got everything wired up. Everything is completely done on this truck for now, except for the headlights and the taillights. I think I'm going to take a break. Maybe a week or two. I don't know. I got to wait for the weather to warm up just a little bit. It's too cold to be painting headlights. So, but that is coming soon. Here we are at nighttime with the tag light lit up. It is bright. Looks very good on the back of the truck. I'm impressed with Speedway Motors. If you guys have any doubts, don't have them. This is a clean, nice billet tag bracket. It'll make anybody's car look good. That is going to wrap it up for today's episode, guys. You're watching DIY Dozier. Thank you so much for watching the channel. If you like the content, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so you can be notified of future content being released. As always, share the knowledge, share the passion, share the skill. Do it yourself.